welcome back to Madam Bonsai channel. Today I wanted to maybe get into wiring, why we need wiring and how do we wire it so our tree doesn't look messy and beautiful. So let's do that today together, and hopefully I can pass on some little tip here and then, or the skill that you need to learn, because it's very important to do your wiring right, then you end up with proper looking trees in future. Let's talk about wiring, why we do it for bonsai. Firstly, we can cut and grow, which is can create a bonsai too, but wiring will help you to manipulate the branch a lot quicker, or the shape of the tree you want to create a lot faster. It's a lot of work. But if you look at this here, say I don't like this branch to be here. If I already got the wiring, I can move this to anywhere I like. And then you want a 3D dimension look kind of pad, I can have this branch to go down, and then I can create like a 3 layer of this pad even. So to me it's a magic trick that you can create kind of instant bonsai shape that you want. So then I will quickly show you how to wiring and how to make it that your tree look nice and neat for your enjoyment. To show everyone how to wire a tree, I picked this, like, it's always my son now, so 20 something odd years old, Korean Hongbin. I picked this tree because it's defoliated, so I can show you a lot easier. This tree doesn't need much wiring, just a little bit only, but I will show you how we do this on this tree a lot easier. To do wiring any tree, all you need is a side cutter. You can buy a Japanese or Chinese side cutter, or I use a husband's side cutter from his toolbox, so anything, or even the shear, as you see, got a little gap here that you can cut the wire quite easily too, like it's right in here, so you don't hurt your secateur. And then wiring and wire. So get yourself maybe 3-4 different gauge to work with any tree, because that's what you need to do any wiring on any trees. Now, one more thing that I like to pass on is pick the right wire for the right branch, which is, I didn't realize it's that hard, but I'll show you a little trick to find out, right? You hold your wire about a handspan out. You press it on the branch that you want it to move. If the branch move, also the wire bend. That's pretty much the same gauge you use. I'll prove that to you. Say if this is a smaller gauge, I hold out the same. I press both these, you see the branch doesn't move, but the wire already curved out. So that's too weak, too strong. It will show that too. Do the same, and you do this. The branch move, this is still straight. So to jump back to the conclusion, which one is right? So this is the one that I know it will be right for this one through the experience. But if you do that, you see how both move? This one move and that one move too. And that's a good gauge for it. Okay, now to do wiring, if you pick this is your front of the tree, you try to hide as much as you want not to be at the front. So say we do this pad here. I need to move this one down a bit, up a bit. So you hold your wire past the branch you want to wire about 4 centimeters. By the time you rotate through the branch, it will be enough. Hold your wire on the bottom of where you want to wire. You don't want to do on top like this, it's messy. So you put on the bottom and you wire it to the first one. Do 2 loops for me. 1. Okay, you stop there, then you start the next one on this side. Important to find an anchor for your wiring, because if you don't have an anchor correctly, when you move, you break your branches and all that. So if I go that way for this branch, this one I wanted to go opposite. Not opposite. On this side here, then you go downward. So how you look at this, you see 2 wire going to the branch, but you hide the bottom. Also use your finger to make a gap in between. So you put your thumb underneath to support the branch. Your finger is the gap of each wire. So you one down, you move your finger here, your thumb move here, and you wiring again. You hold the branch so it doesn't break. And then the gap of this is really nice when you finish. When you get to here, you see how the wire a little bit strong, you stop there. You don't go all the way here. You have to use different gate again. So don't worry about you wasting a little bit of wire, but make your tree look healthy is important because the wire do 2 things. It just manipulated the branch where you want. Also, it encouraging the branch to grow a lot faster. Always finish your wire on the top. So if I finish it here, when I bend, I will lose it. I will lose the edge of it. So you try to finish the wire upward like that. Use your tool to finish that. Okay, I left maybe a little bit short. You see how now you can easily move this branch to wherever you want. The same on this side. So don't worry about moving your branch. If you already wire like that, you twist your finger together with this wire. You can move it them anywhere you need to do it. So then if I put this to here, it's a chance of I'm breaking this a lot. So I'm going to cut this one here. You can lock it in if you like. So as we said before, I make it straight out. You see how both of them move? That bend, the branch bend too. So I'll use this for this. You come under the wire that you finished before and you come up again to wire the next branch. Use your finger the same, your thumb the same to guide the wire. And the same side with it, you want to follow the same motion that the other wire finished. So you go back here using the same. Try not to get into the nose of each branch. So say if I don't want this branch here, I want this to be here. I hold on to that and I twist it over there. Twist the wire, not the branch. The wire, the wire, when it moves, the branch will come with it. So I want this to go in a little bit. I move that. Don't hurry up to cut this because it's like a leave it for you too. Just leave it there for now. So I got one tiny branch here that I wanted to move this out here to create like a 3-dimensional look, but I had no second branch to use. So I double up on the last branch you use, just double up there and just stop there for one look. And then you follow back to where you was before, the same, follow the same. Try to give yourself a habit of making the wire really neat because it's really, really nice when you look at the tree when they lose their leaf. Or even evergreen. And if it happened, you forgot the wire in and it's still scar beautiful. So you move your branch to there. So now if you already finished this section here and you wanted to look nice and neat, you just go in and cut leaf a little bit like that. So later on you can remove the wire a lot easier. Or you can lock it. A lot of people lock, but I don't lock due to I don't like the scar to get there, so I leave mine open like that. But if you finish your wire on the top like this, I promise you the wire not gonna move. You tried it, you will see it. And then like this one here is a bit untidy there. You can cut it off to make it look nice. So the same on this side here, I'm gonna finish the whole pack so you can see how important it is to do wiring that it needs. So I got one branch here I need to wire and one down here that I need to wire. I want to bring this up a bit and I want to bring this over here a bit. So the same, you hold your wire down here and you turn, then you make 2 loops for me, like one here and the next loop in. Lift your wire up on the top and then you follow this and you go up again. Take your time with the wiring, don't hurry up. If it needs to take 2 hours, let it be, but don't hurry up. If you're too busy, we can come back another day, but just don't rush your wiring. Let me do this one on this side so you can see it a lot better. So remember, use both of your finger and your thumb at all time, because this is really important, right? This and this to support the branch, and this to give it a gap in between each wire. So you only need about 3 fingers, but however you're comfortable with, but this is what I normally do. When it gets to here, you see how it's a little bit strong already. You stop there. Don't keep going, because it's a chance of breaking the branch is really great. So I go back to the back one to finish that one. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to cut this one here. And I use a smaller gate for these two. So I'll follow up underneath again, follow what I finished there before, and I keep continuing to go to the next branch. Finish up and then follow this one and do the same. So say I said I wanted this to be up here. You see how easy it is to manipulate it if you widen the gap is correctly. If it's too big, you lose your strength. Too short, they won't do anything neither. So the gap in between is very important for wiring. And your finger size, even your finger a little bit bigger than mine, is still a good gap. As long as you can feel it. If you wind it in 2 loops and you move it, it doesn't do anything, then stop. Stop and think about it, what gauge of wire you need to use. Anything you want to double, always use 2 branch. That's just to create the anchor. Remember, so say if I do this one, right, without anchor, just leave this one here, and I do this just roughly for you to see what I mean. If I move this, everything move with it. It's not going to do anything. But if I tie this into here, even though I know this branch doesn't need wiring, but I need to borrow that. So now I can move this one. Let me take this off first. So I move this without this moving, so I can move this anywhere I like. And then if you're unsure, it looked really easy for me, but if you're not sure where to move your branch, use your thumb on one side, use your right hand to move the wire like that. So hold this, use this hand to hold the branch, and use this to move the wire, to manipulate it wherever you like. But this is the support, and this is to do your work. Or if you're left-handed, you do the same. You use your right hand to support, and you use your left hand to move. So depend on how your hand work, but I am a right-handed, so I use left to hold, right to move. Right to hold, left to move. So the right hand is always the one that is supporting the branch a lot, because I got stronger hand on this. So this is a very small tree, but it still have to follow all that basic of it to make it work. So I think that's all I need to do for this branch here. So now when you're wiring in now, have a look at this pad. So the pad have to be similar with your palm. It's straight here, and then it come out, but some up, some down, but it still have to have this balance. So then when you look down the tree, it's almost like a sun. It have to go through all the branch, so your tree don't have die back in between. So very important to create this. Even though it's grow everywhere, you come in, you get your secateur, you follow this line, you follow all this wiring to trim and cut is perfect. So I can pretty much shut my eyes and I can trim these without knowing what I'm doing. I just follow the line that I just finished. I can go like same size as that. Short here, tall here, short there. Almost like our arm. So I don't have to look at the tree. I can still trim it, and I know it will be perfect later when they they lift out. And I don't know if that makes sense, but I try my best. If you don't understand, just drop it in my comment and ask me. I will explain it again and again until you understand how simple it is to wire a tree. So if you look at this arm here that unwiring, so I got this branch going backward into the tree, which I don't like. So later on I wanted to wire this out. Wire all that like my palm, like that. And then if I trim the tree, I can shut my eye and go like that. You will have beautiful pet of any tree. So I just did this 2-pad demonstration for you to see how important the wire for bonsai. So before we brought this tree in, you remember the branch was everywhere. So now you got 1 pad here and 1 pad here. And then I will do the whole tree. But if you confused with it, please drop me a comment, ask me, then I will explain to it again. And I will keep posting up again for you to learn. Thank you for watching, and if you like it, please subscribe so Anne can keep working with trees again and again.